a chance to go to the next round. So our goal, as always, will be to do everything we can to give us the best chance to win the Big 12 championship. History tells you if you win the Big 12, in most cases you get a chance to get there. So we've got a lot of work. I was talking to Barry the other day. I mean, these guys coming back really give us a post. We get to the race, right? The Kentucky Derby, I used an example. Why I did, I don't know. But now we got 9 difficult months of training, and we get to get there when the gates open. We get to go out and run.
How healthy is Tylen going to be starting?
Tylen will be fine. He's about 4 to 6 weeks ahead of schedule. Earlier I was saying that you need to make sure he doesn't do too much. These guys now that they're fantastic in repairing these injuries, and he'll be up and running. We'll be very protective of him up through the middle of August, and we'll turn him loose in September.
Does the Chuba Heisman campaign start now?
I think so. Chuba, and I said this earlier, the Heisman has almost become a quarterback award, and I'm not taking anything away from Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, in my opinion, should have won the Heisman this year. But, for example, Chuba was the Offensive Player of the Year in the Big 12. You know who voted on that? Coaches. You know who sees them every day and watches every tape? The coaches. So they know more about it than everybody. And we know there's some marketing involved in coast-to-coast exposure on votes. But he legitimately rushed for 2,000 yards, something like that. And I don't know if anybody else did that this year. Did the guy from anybody else do that this year? I don't think so. So he was the only one that did that. There's a lot of quarterbacks that'll throw for over 3,000 yards. So regardless, I'm glad he's here. But what he did is a pretty impressive. His performance was very impressive. I'll put it that way.
Mike, I'm sure you already answered this, but just talk about having Tylen and Chuba back and your core offense, Spencer back, and now with Dunn taking over as OC.
Yeah, we've got experience now at the key spots when it gives us a chance to do and execute the things on offense we like to do. We can stretch the field side to side, and then we can go over the top. That allows us to rush the football. You rush the football, allows you to throw the ball back over the top. And so we've got weapons. We know more about Spencer now than we did. At this time last year, we didn't know a lot because all we knew was what we get in practice. We're more invested in him based on his ability and what his strengths are. Should allow us to be better football coaches in the spring and in August.
Dunn took the OC job at UNLV, then Gleason leaves, now Dunn's now the OC. Talk a little about that, of how that came to fruition.
Well, at one point, Dunn was going to go to UNLV, and he's always wanted to be an offensive coordinator, so we had to re-recruit him, which we did. We gave him years and money, and then about a week later, Gleason decided to go back home, closer to his home, and which was a good opportunity for him. Most of those guys that I've hired don't get that opportunity as early as he did, but he got several opportunities this year, and he decided to get back closer to home and be with Shiano. So after that, I interviewed several people for whatever job that I wanted to move forward with, and after several interviews, I found out that Dunn was the right guy at this particular time. He served his time and he's ready. But I needed to make sure, based on what my options were out there, particularly if we could find a quarterback coach that was what I was looking for as a quarterback coach.
What did you like about Timurte?
I think he's a fantastic with technique, footwork, reads, eyes, developing young people. Tremendous success playing the position in college. Played a long time in the NFL at 6 foot tall, which is not easy to do. Did a good job in college coaching and recruiting quarterbacks, developing quarterbacks, and then got a year's experience in the NFL, which is football 24/7. I like his demeanor. I think he's a good fit here. He's somewhat local based on spending so many years at La Tech, and I think he'll really be good in developing quarterbacks.
Is there much of a learning curve that Casey Dunn needs to go through, or is it that he's been around so long that he knows most of the terminology that he'll need and stuff like that?
For Dunn?
Yeah.
No, there's not any learning curve for him. He knows the offense. The only adjustment he'll make is calling plays on game day and being in the press box. The rest of it he already knows. Tim will have the adjustment based on learning terminology and things that we want to do. During his interview, I like the information I got from him. So I'm comfortable turning the quarterbacks over to him and not really being involved and letting him do what he does based on as he progresses with what our quarterback strengths are. And Dunn just has to get used to calling plays. Everything else he's already done.
In the last 5-6 years, you guys have really moved into Louisiana as a recruiting territory. Does that kind of help his case that he's got such deep roots there?
Well, we've essentially come with the conclusion that northern Louisiana is basically East Texas. East Texas has been fantastic for us, same kind of people that live in Stillwater. The young men feel comfortable in this environment, more of a college town, which is a lot like East Texas. And that north and northwest Louisiana, central Louisiana, we've gotten really good players there per capita. If you take the number of them and how many of them have been successful here, graduating and playing, the percentage has been extremely high. So we're excited about that. We've dipped into Arizona a little bit and Utah. We've got direct flights from Oklahoma City to Phoenix and Oklahoma City to Salt Lake. It's easy to get back and forth. We think there's some good players there that not a lot of schools as far east as us recruit unless they're a national recruit. Most of them go west, so we want to give them an option to come east. If they're a 3-star or a 4-star, a lot of times those guys don't have a chance to go back east. We're going to give them that opportunity. So a couple new grounds for us from the recruiting stage.
Sorry for the repeat.